What's up, fellow nerds and skaters? It's your Walrus, and he's doing the podcast for the MJl Session on the Wednesday game. I think it's session 4, as you all know. I'm just perma-subbing the nation of Poland. So please take the note that I may be a bit biased towards certain nations, for example Poland, but we all know it will be a POC podcast. As you can see, I am still in the Eastern Europe chat. And if you guys want, you can join and talk about some nations or your nations and your plans and tell me that I'm a retarded skater or a wholesome guy, and we will all get to know each other and have fun. So, I will, as always, start with the nation of Usugi, because I always start in Japan, because we're here in Japan. Alright, so, Usugi is played by our dear friend Zizna, currently in a war with Sangwoo. Already got some land here, so it expanded a bit. This Ainu vessel is interesting to say the least, but kinda chunky. So yeah, it's pretty cool, I would say. Currently completely blockaded. Having a beefy stack here. It's coming with already 35, it's 29, so you should withdraw some cannons and put it to a different stack. From what I would say this war looks like, it should be on Usugi's side from the ideas. So do finish innovative ideas. You can maybe see that I'm a bit drunk today. Behind on institution tag penalty because Asia. Otherwise, I guess they will win the war. Pretty good spot. Let's take a look at the dev map mode. Usugi already developed a bit. Very cool. Can still develop some provinces very nicely. I guess that's doable. Hello.
Hello.
Sup, Monkey Man?
I'm gonna join you in the stream, if that's okay.
Yeah, of course. You're
Or
always
podcast.
welcome, Monkey Man. So yeah, let's take a look at the manpower recovery. It's 1,651. That's a bit low, which is also correlated to the fact that you do not have that much manpower dev in some of your provinces. The provinces you dev'd are already manpower dev'd, which looks okay, but you still have a lot of things you can change with this country. Like, this country will explode a lot in strength when it comes to universities. It's a bit behind right now. Let's take a look at the advisors before we go to the income tab. 133. I think you should try to invest a bit more cash into an admin advisor. Because you're still behind on ideas and you're also behind on admin tech, so that should be something you can easily put some cash in. I would accept Korean. I don't even know why you didn't do that yet. That seems like an odd mistake.
I think you just integrated it, if you're talking about the vessel.
Yeah, you should do that ASAP. Yeah, 5 months ago. Or 2 months ago. Because he has the debuff with the autonomy. So your income is at 92. That's a bit low. Currently in a bankruptcy war. I guess your trade will also go up a bit once you are out of this war. Also, you can add a lot of money in the nearish future from the Hangshu. Is it Hangshu? Yeah, Hangshu node. So I think the future looks brighter than you may think it would look like. That's pretty much it for Usugi. So I will go to the next country of Sangwoo. I will open up the debug mode for that because I'm still not familiar with the tags.
It's the SNW.
What did you say?
SNW.
Oh, thank you. Oh, Gasio was playing Usugi. Oh, he was subbing for Wholesome Zizna. Very cool. Wholesome Gasio. Yeah, Sanghu 554 ruler, 106 income, which is also due to the fact that he's sitting in Hangshu. I already commented on the fact that I think the ideas of them are utter garbage. They're like cannon and fire focused, but have shock damage in the traditions.
Yeah, I think like the standard Chinese nations are a bit too weak compared to like neighboring powers. I think Nanyue has like the best has the best idea set for like the starting nations.
Agreed. 100% agreed.
But like they can't really compare to like you see your like Nepal if it forms or Manchu.
Yeah, but I remember that the forming nations of China are hilariously broken. So are you gonna?
No, they aren't. They're pretty good, but like they aren't broken. Like, I guess PRC, which is like the last one, that's pretty broken.
Yeah, I just remember PRC. So
yeah,
I think you formed one with Tang.
Yeah, I found Tang is one of them.
Yeah, 5% discipline.
Check that one out later.
Yeah, it's 5% discipline, 10% morale of armies, 1 land leader fire, then tech cost. Like, it's pretty good. Like, it's nothing game breaking, but it's pretty good. Like,
yeah, it's pretty good, but like it's not OP.
It's weaker than Nepal for sure.
It's weaker than Nepal. It's comparable to Punjab, I guess, but like the economic ideas are weaker than Punjab.
Yeah, it's weaker
like,
than Punjab. A bit weaker than Punjab.
It is a bit weaker. Like I have a mission which gives 10 ICA as well, which is permanent, and like I have 5% permanent ACA as well.
Yeah.
So like I guess it's comparable to Punjab in terms of like military stuff, a bit weaker in like economic side.
Yeah, let's take a look at the dev situation in all of China. Nan Yue, played by Susuni, I think played pretty well when it comes to that. Developed a lot already. Tang also with a really impressive deving, considering that most of the area it's in is rather bad. Lots of mountains.
Yeah, there's some good land in Burma, which is grasslands, farmlands, and like I got some provinces in the north, which is farmlands, and there's 5 provinces, 6 provinces actually, which is start with in Chengdu Basin, which is like going to be our first provinces you're going to dev. Give it like a boost. But overall, Tang has pretty like bad land to dev.
Yeah. I would overall say that I think Sangwoo will lose the war simply because the army is so much weaker due to the ideas, and I don't really see them winning. And if they lose this war, they will probably just get killed by Nan Yue. If I would be Nan Yue, I would kill Sung Wong after this war. So I will go over to the next nation, which is Nan Yue. Nan Yue is a bit odd when it comes to like territory because they are in Indonesia and in Siam. Let's take a look at their income. 160 income looks pretty good. Ideas. They used to be really good in ideas, but currently they're lagging a bit behind. I don't know the fact. Maybe they had a hard war. Why are you looking at my hair, Lee? Yes, Suni, I'm looking at your hair because I am doing a podcast. And I think that's not wholesome to name your heir like that, because he wants a cool name like Walrus Pogcast PogChamp. Using really good rulers, really solid mana intake right at the moment. Your development is also pretty good. Yeah, only 3,000 manpower is a bit odd. I think you should kill Sangbu ASAP. And I guess the moment you get more good land to develop, which would be Sangbu's land, I guess you can really start to snowball a lot when it comes to power. Because currently you dev quite a lot, but you can still be so much stronger because you have nobility, and I think you could aim for around 4,000. It would be a good start, I guess, with the next dev cycle. Yeah, so let's go to the nation of Tang, because there's not really that much to say about the great parts of China, because I want to get to the abomination of goddamn India. 564 ruler, is he strict? No, he is not. 453 air, really good spot. 181 income, that's really insane. Also, look, he has nearly 100 production income, which is probably due to the fact that he has all manufactories built already. Like the good ones are all built.
I've also been deving a lot of depth for my my good trade kits.
There are some insane workshops yet to be built. Would definitely
but it's also
to do so.
It's also like the fact if you want a lot of the land, you can only have 3 building slots. It's like mountains which I haven't deved yet. It's like if you want another Do you want another mill building, or do you want a workshop?
I guess you don't want a mill building, huh?
I mean, it depends what he values.
Yeah, so it's definitely the strongest from the three Chinese nations. It's also at the front of Punjab. Like, this abomination of a nation will be analyzed ASAP. Yeah. Would say Tang is the strongest and will probably turn into dualism in China.
It isn't actually that stronger than Nanyue. If you like, at least according to Scannerberg, it's like slightly stronger, but it isn't. The difference isn't that big.
I highly disagree.
But I would say Tang is,
because Nanyue has the problem of the position. Like, most of the Nanyue's land also is in Indonesia.
Yeah.
So,
like, the Nanyue advantage of Nanyue is that it has more provinces. So like you can potentially have more force limit, assuming no one expands more though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I think Nanyue has filled all the states, meanwhile Tang has states he can still fill.
Yeah. Let's take a look at Manchu now, which is probably the nation I'm the most impressed with overall in this game. So let's look what he did. 3,000 manpower recovery, considering he doesn't have burgers, but hordes is alright, I would say. I don't really have that much experience playing hordes. I just think hordes are utter garbage. Filled out the ideas. Still disagree with the humanist ideas, but I'm not going to waste any time discussing that. Don't know what you're going to do with the fifth reform. I would guess you change to monarchy or republic, but I don't know.
I think he's going to stay for.
Yeah, but if you would stay, like, you cannot have an reform.
Yeah.
At the end, my bad.
He's just going to not pick it, but I mean, the thing with Manchu is that like he had pretty insane rulers. If you check Scannerberg, I think he has 14.2 average, which is like way above everyone else. So, like, he has spent a lot of but mana deving. He's been a bit less efficient because he didn't have eco before now, and like he doesn't have burgers. But like, due to him spending so much mana and like having so much mana, it's pretty comparable in strength and manpower compared to other countries.
Yeah. You still don't have Bashkira stated, which is a big mistake. You have a gold mine that is not even stated.
Yeah.
Like,
I think you
already owned that from last session, so you wasted tons of income here. Like, man, this.
But
is
I think he was following eco ideas. That's maybe why. But
yeah, but that should not be a thing. Like, the gold mine alone is worth it.
Yeah, but it's a very strong country, has high prestige, good PP.
Yeah, I just think that there are some things that he should fix. Like, for example, this gold mine, core it ASAP. This is like a big thingy. Like, the Kazan state is not good, the Tambov state is not good, Samara is not good. Like, just state the Bashkira state. I don't really know why you're not doing this. Like, Transoxiana state is not stated. Like, man, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know if you're culture swapping, maybe? No, you're 46% Manchu. Like, I don't really know what you're doing. Like, your country is already really strong, but it's wasting a lot of potential.
Yeah, I think he was a bit afraid that Russia was going to attack.
Was Russia played by a player now?
He was a player, yeah.
It's
and I think Russia had no, it was Imp.
Imp.
I think Russia had like backing of Sweden and maybe Hanover. So like, I think Manchu was a bit afraid that he was going to attack. So I think he played the session maybe a little bit too passively. He didn't want to take the initiative. But it's a pretty strong nation. Like, he's missing a lot of force limit buildings. Like, his force limit is a bit small.
Yeah.
And like, his income is starting to lag a bit compared to what it used to be, comparably. But it's still stronger than most nations, I would say.
Yeah, so let's take a look at the free game Punjab. Like, considering how free my last India game was, like, this India game may be the freest game of all Indias in the history of Indias.
Yeah, I just want to say before you look at Punjab that the original player had some issues. So like, he had a sub, but then the sub had some issues as well, so he crashed. So like, the nation was AI for a bit, and then he was brained the last 20 minutes.
He should get some fixes, I guess.
So he's going to get edits. So that's why it might look a bit messy.
Like, these nations are, like, don't get me wrong, this nation is economical-wise and overall war-wise probably by far the strongest nation in the world. Like, he doesn't even have great manufacturers built. It's not even, like, this nation is banking 12k ducats for next to no reason. And he's owning all of India pretty much uncontested. Like, who is going to come? Like, even if...
Yeah, I think...
Like, this is, like... I even criticized that earlier, but I just think if he just sits on his bum developing for the next 100,000 years, like, who's going to stop him? Like, his development is okay-ish. He could be way better, of course, but it's not like it's bad. He has okay-ish manpower recovery, and if he would just stop being Punjab and just form like Nepal, he would be insanely strong. Like, this country has the potential of reaching like 10k military strength, overall strength in Skanderbeg, I guess.
I think it's a bit too far behind for that. But like, he has 12k because he was brain dead, that's why.
Yeah, but this country has insane
But
potential.
I disagree with, like, he hasn't been culture converting to Nepal.
Yeah,
So that's gonna be a bit of pain to convert to.
I criticized that
But
earlier already because I think his game plan overall is...
But also, I think it's a bit mistake to form Nepal too early. Like, Punjab has really good like eco ideas, with like just produce and trade efficiency, and like production efficiency as well. I think.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Punjabi ideas are great. Like, you have 5% discipline, 10% morale, 20% manpower,
like
goods, trade.
Like the main thing Nepal has is force limit, which is 25 force limit. But like when your force limit is pretty small, that isn't going to be a huge difference. But like when his force limit is going to go up, that's going to be pretty significant.
Yes. Also, he's not going for the better cultures, for the reforms, so this country may have some problems later down the line when... Yeah.
Yeah. I think his issue is that he united India a bit too early, perhaps. Like, he killed everyone too early, so like he's a bit behind on like culture converting and stuff. But it's by far the strongest country in the world, and like his economy is insane compared to everyone else. So like he's never going to get attacked, and like he can pretty much do what he wants.
Yeah. So let's go to the next country. I will go to Ethiopia. Ethiopia got lots of Mamluks land. I guess they will form the Mamluks at one point because Ethiopia ideas are, I think, utter garbage is a compliment. Certainly one of the worst idea sets in the entire game. Yeah. Income wise, 80. Batua, it can be conquered at one point. Like, this country has so much potential and will become really, really strong at one point. Development situation was not that well done. Like, the player just took over 2 sessions ago, I think, and it's looking alright for that. Like, I don't think that much changed besides he conquered Egypt. I can still build insane manufactories, okay-ish workshops, and next to no mill buildings, but that's not something that can't be fixed. Expansion wise, I would say you can easily go into Batua. You can try to contest Persia for the Arabian Peninsula, and yeah, that's pretty much it for Ethiopia. I don't really think we should do that much about Ethiopia because I think next week Ethiopia will certainly be more interesting than currently. So let's take a look at Persia. Was Persia played today?
It was, yeah.
I don't really know why Persia did not attack Poland.
Shouldn't ask me why. I don't know.
Like, don't get me wrong, I disagree with a lot of, like, of course I'm biased because I'm the part-time Poland player, but I just think the entire European and Middle Eastern Diplo is such an hilarious Diplo this game, and I think if you would have taken an opportunity from it, most nations would be so much stronger. But it is what it is. I think Persia is overall
there's a lot of
okay, but considering what it should be at this point, is really weak. Like 170.
I think its main thing is that the economy is really bad. Like usually, like the Persian nation has like pretty good trade income, but like its trade income is also pretty trash.
I guess that's not an offense to the player, but the nation is really, really bad. Like the last.
I mean, you can still recover with like universities and stuff, but like it's always going to be weaker than Punjab, for example. So like
it will always be weaker than Punjab and Poland, and probably Ethiopia will beat him at one point as well. That's his problem. He should try to kill off Ethiopia ASAP, but then you realize that the problem is the diplomatic scale. He's allied to Russia, so he's like the
but like I don't really see like what he gains
power.
from attacking Ethiopia. Like he has enough land for now. Like he has ideally wants a bit more land, but like I guess he could attack Ethiopia, but like I think he just benefits more from trying to build up his nation. Since he should scale better than Ethiopia, in theory.
Yeah, but Ethiopia is out to Poland, and how the fuck is Poland at Diplo 11? Jesus. Let's go to Russia. Suka Bliatme, guys. 91 income. Like the nation is in a weak state.
Yeah, I think it was played by Imp or said by Imp. So I think Imp like expected Manchester to attack him, which is why like you see him have this many loans. Like since he just like kept taking loans to like be ready for the war, but then like the war never happened. So like now it's halfway to bankruptcy.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I just think Russia is just waiting to die at this point, so I'm not going to waste any time. Like,
I mean, I think it can come back. Like it has.
Yeah, of course.
Like you can say like it might outscale Manchu eventually. So like you could say like Manchu has to attack Russia rather than Russia has to attack Manchu. But like Russia could also consider attacking Manchu since it needs to bankrupt eventually. Then you can like do a bankruptcy war against Manchu, get a truce. Like Manchu might truce break, but since he has to bankrupt eventually with this amount of loans. But like his manpower is pretty alright. Like I guess you can say it's a bit low for being Russia, but like he's the highest in the world, I think. He has a good ruler as well.
Like it's not the highest manpower.
Back.
Not the highest manpower in the
world. Okay, but it's pretty high though, like compared to most people. But like you can say it should be higher because it's Russia. But like he's also lacking so many buildings. There's no manufacturers.
Yeah.
And
like he needs time, he needs peace. He needs peace for like forever, and he won't
needs
get
peace, but he's not gonna get peace.
Yeah, like this is the problem this nation has. Like if one person could save this nation, it would be Darth Denman, but he's playing Poland, so yeah. I guess that's it for Russia. So we already did this, so I will take a look at Ruthenia. Man, I haven't checked Ruthenia yet. I totally expect this nation to die for the last 4 sessions, but it's still alive and proving me wrong every week. Jesus Christ. Like, this nation can catch up so fast if it actually wants. Like, for example, I will go over the improvements overall, because last week I saw so many mistakes in this nation. I sent some of them to the player to improve it. For example, the collect of trade. Currently you're finally collecting some of your cash. Trade setup looks alright. I would you have to do that. I would actually say that your nation looks better than it used to be. Still in a weak spot. You have an insane late game potential with Ruthenia and Zardom, which is like probably my top 5 countries that you can play. You're still behind in quantity ideas, not even at tech 14. The good thing is you will have the power spike. The bad thing is you're 7 admin techs away from universities. If I were you at this point,
admin 10.
If I were you at this point, I would just invest everything everything I have in admin. Would go admin focus, try to rush down, kill off Russia with your friends, and develop like a madman. Because otherwise,
Yeah, I should definitely go admin focus.
Like admin focus is a given at this point. Like you were not able to use your mill points as efficient if you're not having universities at this point. You will integrate Moldavia though, and you will have a lot of good land to death. Like the potential is still there. Like you're allied to Poland. You're friendly towards Prussia as far as I'm aware of. Like, who is going to kill you? No one. Like,
I mean, the country might be strong in 150 years, but like it's pretty much at the mercy of Poland.
Unwholesome.
And Prussia.
Unwholesome.
By the way, about the income, I have Protestants everywhere on my nation, so that's sort of like my income wise.
Kick.
I get 30%. Yeah, and the good land, everything's Protestant. But I think in 50 years I should be fine. By the way, I'm saving the admin so I can just exploit the 20%.
Yeah.
So
the thing you should do right at the moment is to start spying on more people than one, because if you're getting unlucky and you get caught, and then you're kind of fucked. And you should spy on Prussia or Brandenburg, for example. That would be really good for you, I guess. And then you can easily like just catch up in admin and in dip really, really fast. Like if you take 1 or 2 sessions to recover, it's pretty good, in a good spot. So that will be it for Ruthenia. Let's go to Prussia.
that was quick. I'm leaving.
Like sometimes I really think Leonhard has a fetish for bankrupting nations. Every time I check his nations, he's bankrupting.
Yeah, I think he didn't want to bankrupt, but then like France kind of France was stronger than he thought, so he ended up bankrupting.
He somewhat killed France, I guess, or who killed France?
It was a very messy situation, but like I think I couldn't see Europe, so but I think Hanover and Sweden attacked France and then won, but then France truce broke Sweden.
How the fuck did France lose that war?
I don't really know, but like Hanover and Sweden are like pretty strong, and like I guess France didn't really expect it, maybe. And then I think Prussia and Brandenburg attacked him, and then like Turkish rage quit, and then a sub took over.
F in the chat, boys. Yeah. So let's go over.
It was
Prussia.
pretty messy.
Prussia bankrupting again. Like the story of Prussia, in my eyes, is that Prussia has a lot of insane potential at this point.
Yeah.
With next to no one able to threaten him, but he needs to stop bankrupting for like a decade. Because I think it's his 4th bankruptcy already.
No, it's my 3rd.
Oh, it's his 3rd.
Yeah, but like I fought Switzerland and killed that player, and then I had to fight France also, and then yeah. Don't look at the economy, please. Like, sad.
Only a 5 mil ruler. Only a 5 mil ruler. Shake my head. Shame.
And France didn't uncon, by the way. I mean, he unconned when I had 96%, but like I had to fight him pretty hard.
His behind income is okay-ish considering for the state he is in. Like he will at one point become really strong because from what I'm seeing right now, he's getting the Venice node at one point after Switzerland dies, and that's pretty pock, not gonna lie. Otherwise, it's really, really easy for him to come back because his idea set is just the 2nd best idea set in the entire game, or even the best idea set in the game if you forget about
Russia, I mean, as long as it's Prussia, like he always has potential to become really strong.
Like Prussia's a ticking time bomb, and we all know what happens in the Age of Age of Revolutions.
Yeah, but like he really needs more land though. Like it's pretty small in terms of amount of provinces.
Yeah, he has
kind of main thing.
Only 46 provinces. I guess if the moment he integrates Hainaut, Hainaut will be integrated, so that's also a lot of French land. Like, you will get a lot of French land, I guess, at one point.
Yeah, it is really hard to get enough provinces in Central Europe, but like that's maybe his main thing, like his main drawback.
Yeah. So let's go to Brandenburg. Brandenburg is played by Reiji. König Karl I von Erdmannsdorf. That's actually a pretty funny name. Earthman's Village would be the translation for his name. He's getting 10 ducats from Hanover. Considering how horrible the state of the nation was after session 1, I think it's really impressive that he is so strong at the current moment. He's really good in tech right now. Making some manpower ahead in tech. Looking okay-ish on ideas. Will finish innovative ideas. Has Prussian ideas. That he will always be relevant simply because of the idea set. If he gets 2 good dev cycles, he will be really strong. He's currently in a war with Sweden and is occupying a lot of land, like man. It's the Hanoverian conquest of Öse. So if he gets some land here, for example, he gets Wallonia, which is, I think, outside of the English Channel, this Brandenburg can become really, really impressive. And has a lot of potential, because Prussian ideas are insane at one point, and he can just easily sit around and death forever, and then at one point, whenever he wants, kill off Hanover, which could prove to be more difficult than it is right now. And well, we will see. That's.
I don't think he's going to be able to beat Hanover like in a pure 1v1 at least.
I think he will be able to at one point. Not right now, but in 100 years, probably.
No, I don't think so. Like it's much like smaller and worse economically, so.
Believe in our friend. Hard. Believe in our friend Reiji. Believe. So.
I mean, it's always possible, but like the favors, like the odds are not in his favor.
Yeah. Like Sweden is a really odd nation. Like Sweden has belongings part in Champagne, like one night in Paris, I guess, but like the nation is in an odd spot. If I were Brandenburg and Hanover and Russia and Ruthenia and like everyone, I would just try to kill off Sweden. I don't really see Sweden surviving that much.
Yeah, I think like the
nation is dead.
If you compare Sweden to like Brandenburg, like it has half the amount of manpower, like even less than half.
Yeah, like the
nation.
Like
he hasn't really done much like mill living. It's like it's very far behind in manpower.
Yeah, hello Sphinx. Yeah, I guess that's pretty much it for Sweden. Let's take a look at Hanover. I guess Hanover has like 400 income, is probably the richest nation in the game. 220? That's way lower than I thought. Let's take a look why it is the case.
I think it used to be more, but like this war kind of.
Yeah, this war.
Well, the wars kind of made it go lower.
Yeah, I can still build tons of manufactories, tons of good workshops, tons of mill buildings. Yeah, but he has a lot of money stored and is in a war, so.
I think the reason why Hanover attacked Sweden is because Sweden took England as a vassal from France, which I don't think he was supposed to take. So I think Hanover got a bit annoyed about that and just attacked Sweden instead. Yeah. I think it's a bit odd for Sweden to take England as a country to defend it.
Yeah, like I think Hanover is in a spot where it's probably the strongest original Denmark I have ever seen. It's really, really strong. Can expand quite a lot in the next sessions. Can form Great Britain at one point. Can form Ireland at one point. Like the potential is limitless at this point. It's in a good spot. Owns the English Channel. Owns Lübeck. Is in a great diplomatic spot. And can really do a lot of things. Like he's reformed as well, which is allowing him to have permanently 15% morale. I think reformed is the most underrated religion in the entire game, simply because of the fact.
He's also really good if you're like a trade nation, like semi-trade nation, which is Hanover is.
Yeah, I think reformed is like so underestimated by tons of people. I would even call it better than Protestant in some cases. For example, exactly this case right now, because you're a semi-trade nation and you have a permanent defender of faith. Like, you have permanent 15% morale.
Yeah, I agree. It's better situational than Protestant.
Yeah. Like, of course, it's worse than Orthodox, but everything is worse than Orthodox. Like, even Hindu in India is worse than Orthodox. Long term. So... Oh, Denmark in Quokkie. Yeah, Denmark in Quokkie was played by Steelskin. I remember.
Yeah, but it also, like, he also had a pretty slow start. Like, I don't think he was probably comparable in strength at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, really good spot. So let's take a look. I'm not really going to take a look at France, which is that long, as I think France currently is in a position where we'll just roll over and die at one point. Like, if it's not winning this war, it's just dead, pretty much, because everyone is coming to vulture him. So, kind of the Poland of this timeline. So let's check what our guy Danny is doing. 2,500 manpower dev. Interesting fort placement in some cases.
I also want to say that, like, Spain has a very good ruler if you look at it.
Ooh, 666 Suzette. Like, not even calling your ruler Walrus. Shake my head.
It's a female version of Sus.
Yeah, it could be Valruset. Definitely not Sus Guimera 113, or like Poct your ruler. He's also having Modena as a vassal. Like, if I were Spain, I would just kill off France, own all of Genoa, become the powerhouse, and like, Spain ideas are at one point massively overrated and at one point massively underrated, because I think a lot of people say, hey, Spain ideas will drop off, but you still have 15% morale, 5% discipline, and the artillery fire one. You also, which is in my opinion a bit underrated, you have the colonist late game, which is like free dev for 2 ducats. Bit bad in admin and dip tech. Income's also a bit down, but that's more or less because he is minus 20%. Once that's fixed and he gets more of Genoa, like how much is he having in Genoa right now? I think if he actually gets one war out of Genoa and fixes his economy a bit, he can make way more. We are sending cash to Genoa. But yeah, that's pretty much what I should say for Spain. Is there something that can be fixed on spot besides warring France? I think the country also bankrupted quite a lot for next to no reason in my eyes. I think then he just had some odd wars.
His income is pretty low for like being in a pretty good position trade-wise at least.
Yeah.
But like diplomatically, like he's in an excellent position. Like I think France is dying, so like you can probably vulture France a bit.
Yeah, he just takes Genoa and says everyone else can get the rest. Great position for him.
Should be a very strong country.
Like he just gets 3 states from France and he's like, yeah, I'm Gucci with you guys if you ally me, and he can just sit around and dev. Like
he just needs a bit of
his missions.
He just needs a bit of peace, like getting universities and then getting a couple of good dev cycles, and he should be very strong.
Yeah, like he still has the best idea. Probably I would say it's one of the best missions in the entire game. It's the Expel the Moriscos, which gives you 10% dev cost for 20 years, which is an insane idea.
And Borat is minus 20, but it's only locally, so.
Yeah. Like you can still like this. Spain is so insane. It has not even used one mission. Prepare Reconquista, not used. That's 5%. Like Plus Ultra Tree, I do not care about that one. Like you have Subjugate Navarra, which gives you like an improvement for Navarra for 20 years if you have a war. You can reclaim Andalusia. You can then expel the Moriscos. You can continue the Reconquista for an additional 15%. Like you could even go at one point go the tree of Recover Portugal and PU Portugal and player kill it. I think you already lost the CB. And then you have so much more. Like you can take West African ports at one point and then have maybe some land in the New World, because I already see you have some land here, which is pretty pock. I think it's one of the saddest New Worlds I've ever seen, because we only have one colonizer, as far as I'm aware. Yeah.
There's only one. You can count Spain as one, though, but like he isn't really colonizing that much.
Yeah, Portugal with pretty much a free trade game. As already said, I disagree with his move towards Indonesia, and that's showing off in his income quite a lot. Could make way more income. Currently is killing off small vessels in Indonesia, small nations. Don't really know how he's thinking he can defend this. I think he should have just colonized the New World and enjoyed the free game. Would have been better for his income in the mid-term, and then could just have killed off China with massive ship advantage, and then just take away Indonesia and stuff slowly but surely, and then just form a stronger tech at one point. That would be my idea for what Portugal can do.
I mean, I also think you should maybe steal some Indian trade, like it's free trade you can just take.
Yeah, you're an expert.
Even, like,
you're an expert on that matter, Monkey Man.
Yeah, but like it's like he can't punish you. I mean, it's also, I think Portugal has a mission for 10% permanent trade efficiency, which requires you to take some land in West India, which you can actually take since it's AI at the moment. So you can also consider like taking. You can attack the AI, take 2 trade centers in Coromandel, and you should also definitely colonize the province in Coromandel regions. Then you can get the trade company region for trade steering. And like the problem with one nation in India is that they can't really control all of the trade. Like it's either going to leak north or it's going to leak south. I'm going to guess that the player is going to put his main trade node to Coromandel.
Yeah.
But right now it's only AIs which are collecting there. So like if Portugal puts one merchant there and just a couple of ships, he can get most of the trade at the moment. I don't know why he's not at least putting a merchant. Like even as a free merchant, like it's just free money, which is not taking. And like also Indonesia, like considering like currently it's Nanyue, which is collecting there, but like it isn't Nanyue's main trade node. So like Portugal doesn't even need any provinces to maybe like steal like half of it.
Yeah,
I just noticed. He just needs a merchant and a couple of boats, and he has like half of it.
Yeah, Danny's development in Spain is actually pretty poc. Like a lot of dev in Spain, and a lot of good manpower dev. Like the manpower dev is pretty good.
Yeah, it's a lot of potential as well.
So let's take a look at Mali. I have my usual trend of speeding up once I leave Japan. So I think it's still one of the strongest Malis I've ever seen. I think you could maybe try to kill off Portugal with Spain. Wink, wink. And yeah, like his income is pretty good. Like it's for Mali, it's really strong. Some development was done in some parts of the country. He will finish innovative ideas, so he will also have a pretty decent ideas from the military. His ideas are not that good, sadly. 5% discipline, 10% manpower, and 10% ICA and land attrition is alright, but I think
it isn't the worst, but it isn't that great here.
Yeah, so maybe he can try to arrange a deal where he forms Andalusia.
Yeah, like that's the issue. Like there isn't any like good formulas close by. Like the best one is Andalusia, but that's also like pretty hard to do. It's like it needs. I'm pretty sure it's more than 100% from Spain.
Yeah, but if he makes a deal with like where Spain receives the land in Iberia and Northern Africa, and in exchange Mali gets the Andalusia formation and the parts of the Ivory Coast, I think that's all right.
Yeah.
So
you can make it happen, but depends on Diplo.
Yeah. So let's take a look at Poland and let's see what Darf has done. 3,832 manpower development, which is the highest in the world. Pretty poc, I would say. So a bit behind on innovative ideas, drastically behind on Diplo, also behind on admin, but that can easily be fixed, as you can see. Still has to convert some stuff. The income of Poland is 180. Which could easily be bumped at one point. when the trade setup is a bit better, can also still build tons of manufactories. And yeah, like a lot of stuff can be built in this nation. Lots of barracks have been built this session. Regimental camps are also alright. It has Polish ideas, and I don't know if Darth wants to kill me for that, but I'm going to show something, which is a pretty cool thing, and I don't know if everyone already recognized that. Let me check what I have to do.
For Byzantium, perhaps.
Yeah, it's the Byzantium formation, and I have a dream. I have a dream. I have a dream. I have a dream.
With FEMA,
I have a dream.
25% manpower.
I have a dream. We have a dream. That should be enough. Yeah. I guess Poland is currently probably the second strongest nation in the game, behind Punjab, but will probably become stronger. Because currently, I don't really see a way where Poland loses to either Russia or Persia or Prussia. And when you check the development map mode, already developed a bit, but it's far away from fully devved. So you can still dev all of Anatolia. So if it works out, it can just run into Russia, into Persia, take away all of the good land around, I think it's the Free River area, if I remember correctly, around Baghdad and Al Jazeera, and then take Syria. And once all of that is owned, I think Poland simply, because this will be Poland Byzantium, which is literally just an 8% less manpower than Tsardom and no Tsardom government, is actually in theory a stronger country than Poland-Ruthenia because it has an easier time going ref. So Poland Byzantium is a really, really good spot. I think with the formation of Byzantium and putting on all the edicts and stuff, it is close to 10,000 manpower recovery, which is also really, really strong. And it's also in a great spot diplomatically right now, because, yeah, how should I paraphrase it? People did not decide to attack it when it was weak and it should have been killed. It was graceful to its allies when it should not have been graceful. And yeah, it's overall in a great spot right now. I don't really see anyone punishing Poland anytime soon, TBH, because all the European powers are currently weaker besides Hanover, and Hanover has no business fighting Poland. Prussia is bankrupting, will probably outscale Poland. Spain is not in a spot to beat Poland. Ruthenia is not in a spot to beat Poland. I think that's in a great spot, even though I don't know how Darth managed to be so behind on Diptech. I guess it's because of culture converting to Greek. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I would say it's a really strong nation, but behind on Diptech.
Yeah, it is the second strongest at the moment. But it's probably going to surpass Punjab eventually.
Yeah, like, I think the biggest deal for Poland is that no one else in the east besides Manchu is strong enough to beat a Polish offense. Like, Poland right now, without trying, can field 300,000 troops, which is not that much. Yeah. But if you take a look at Persia,
there's a lot of like weak countries in this game. Like, there aren't actually that many strong countries.
Yeah, I think this game is incredibly weak compared to the last game we had in MJl. Like, we do not have a single nation which I would consider top 4 in the last game. Like, this Poland is pretty close, but in the last game we had at least 4 nations that have been way stronger than all nations here. Like, even this Punjab is weaker than the Nepal of last game, which was way smaller and had a less free game. Like I have to say it has a less free game than this Punjab, which was hilarious because the last game Bengal had a pretty free
I mean,
game.
this Punjab did pretty well. Like but first years of that game, like he killed all his like neighbors in India on his own. But, like you can say like
he grew too
I think
fast.
Persia should. Yeah, he grew too fast, and like Persia should be way stronger now, but it's not. And like if Persia dies to Poland, like all of Persia is just free land for Punjab to take if he wants.
Yeah.
But I think like Punjab like expanded a bit too fast. Like he wasn't able to keep up like culture converting and stuff.